Hey guys, I'm here today with my June wrap-up, and I'm just going to make this kind of quick, sweet, and simple. I only read 4 books in June, so that was kind of a disappointment for myself, but I have read a lot more in July, so I guess I'm kind of making up for it. But so I only have 4 books that I'm going to just kind of do a little review on, and then I also have one that I forgot to put in my last month's book review, and I said that I was going to throw it in this one, and that is Deviant by Helen Fitzgerald. This is an advanced reader's copy. This book actually just came out in June. Yeah, in June, so it's a new release. I didn't really know anything about this book when I entered the giveaway on Goodreads, and I didn't really think I was going to win. This is like one of the first giveaways I actually entered, and I was like, okay, what are the chances I'm actually going to win? And then I won. And it started off really, really slow for me. It just kind of nothing really happened. I was kind of like, okay, this is just dragging on, and why do you need to explain every little simple little detail? Like, just get to the main plot. And then once it did get to the main plot, it was really, really good. It picked up, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then the last 100 pages were stretched out, where it should have been like 200 pages. Those should have been stretched out. Just everything happened so fast, and I was like, whoa, this needs to slow down a little bit. But I ended up really, really enjoying it. So yeah, I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars, and I guess I really recommended it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited for the next book to come out and see if it's actually a little better than this one, but yeah, we'll see. First book I read in June was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstein, and like I said in my haul video, I've been wanting to read this book for so long, and I'm so happy I finally picked it up. I just love the circus aspect of books. I just love them. They're just so interesting. And this one also has to do with magic, so that just made it even more interesting. And this book was just like beautifully written. It was like poetic in a way, and the author did such a good job with the characters and with the plot and the way of describing everything that's happening. The only problems I really had with this book was I kind of wish that instead of only having like 2 chapters of describing them when they were younger and how they came about magic, it was kind of disappointing. I kind of wished it went a little slower. Like, I don't know, it just like also, it was just like 2 chapters where they were younger, and then all of a sudden it was they were older, or in their teenage years and then older, and I just kind of wish it progressed a little bit more. Another problem I had with it, I just didn't like how the chapters were set up and how they were like set up for the time period. The time period flopped so much. It was like 1 year and then 6 years later and then 5 years back, and it just kind of was kind of confusing to keep track of that. So it was just kind of hard to get into the book a little bit in some parts, and I don't know. But once you got the hang of it, it was quite easy to follow along with. So yeah, I just really, really enjoyed the characters, and I really recommend this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I just loved it. And I'm hearing now that it might actually be made into a movie, which is possible, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet. I will let you know when I have decided. The second book I read in June was The Program by Suzanne Young. I'm not going to hold this book up because it is glaring with the sun and the lighting, and it just looks awful, so I'm going to put this down. I really loved how the characters were built and how they were described. You had a way, the author made it so that you kind of felt for the characters in every situation, and you just grew to love them, and you grew to love their relationships together, and I thought that was really, really special. The only problem I had with it is the way that depression was described in the book, and the way it was kind of set out in how the program was supposed to help depression, but really it probably would just make it all worse. And so I had a problem with that because it wasn't really real. I just don't see this really ever happening. So that was kind of hard and disappointing for me, but I don't know. And like the program, like they take away all your memories, and if you don't have any memories, wouldn't that make you more depressed because you can't think of what your life was before? You just have to start fresh, and I just don't see how that would really cure you to be happy. That's just kind of where the plot fell flat for me, and I didn't really understand how this is helpful and how this would cure someone. So yeah, that's really all I had with problems with the book, and I'm super, super excited for the second book to come out. I love the characters. I love where the plot is now going now that everything happened, and I'm just really excited for the second book to come out, and I really highly recommend it. The third book I read in June was Dashing Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohen and David Leviathan. This book was not really what I had expected at all. I don't really know what I was expecting. It just wasn't didn't really live up to what I thought it was. I really liked the characters, and I really liked Lily. I thought she was like, so she was just so fun, and she kind of reminded me a lot of myself, and so I really, really liked her. It's a cute, really easy, fun read. I kind of wish it kept going because it ended at just a part where they finally, I don't want to say anything, but that might ruin it, but I just liked how it ended, and I kind of wish it was a little bit longer. But I believe I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I really, really ended up enjoying it. The final book I read in June was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, and I absolutely love this book also. I guess I read a lot of good books in June. I loved the beginning of this book, and then it kind of fell flat for me for a little bit, and then it picked up again at the end. I just loved the way she looked down at her family and how she thought of them and how she thought back about it. I loved how the author had this beautiful description of heaven and the afterlife, and all in all I really enjoyed both these books, and I highly recommend, if you haven't read them, I really recommend you reading this book. Yeah, and I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, that is all I have today, and thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.